Welcome at IoTFriday. Today, the topic is implantables. I'm Tom.
I'm Steven. And can it be done? I mean, implantables can be done. We have pacemakers, we have not implantables, but complete arms, prosthetic arms.
Sure.
But can we implant something that is usable, that can stay there for several years, and that is actually useful, but also wireless? Wireless connected to a phone, for instance.
Yeah, a
Because-
device to collect data at least, or
Yes.
to and maybe to do something back, to send something back.
Yeah. Because this is IoT Friday, and here we discuss anything that is connected.
True. And the implantables topic came from Martijn, so thank you for the topic. But actually, you have a very good case of what is happening soon on implantables, right?
Yes, and it's actually quite a private matter, and that is that my dad is getting a pacemaker, and it's a different type of pacemaker because the most pacemakers we know, they are placed under the skin and they have leads, wires that go to your heart, in your heart, and that stimulate the heart. This is a different kind of pacemaker, which is really an implantable for me because it's very tiny and it's placed directly in the heart, and it's attached in the muscle of the heart because the heart is a complete muscle.
Sure. Yeah.
And it stays there. It can last for about 10 years, and what this specific pacemaker is doing is make sure that your heartbeat is a little higher than it is at the current moment. And that is an implantable because it also has to stay there, because if the battery dies, they will probably not take it out.
Yeah.
So you might place one next to it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you get a new one after 10 years, so you say you use it for 10 years and everything went well. Of course, in 10 years' time, a lot can happen and a lot of new developments could be there. But on the other hand, if everything stays the same, you could get the same pacemaker in this case and put one next to the previous one that
is already there.
Stopped working, basically.
Yeah. And when you're a bit younger, you of course want to make sure that they can be taken out. If you're
eventually
a bit older, then it might not be a problem that you need one or two in your life.
Yeah. Could you switch such a pacemaker off, actually?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is there, and that's the thing. It can last up to 10 years.
Wow.
And that's why I thought, is it wireless, or how do they communicate with it to configure it?
Yeah.
Configure it.
Yeah.
And what they do is they place some kind of RFID, NFC kind of device on the chest, and with that they make a big wireless connection to it, and they can program it. So it doesn't have Bluetooth.
Is it optical even that they do or not?
No,
because you could also do that, because I know that we once we talked about the new developments that were going on at CES, and we talked about Ozobot.
Yeah.
And the Ozobot is if you talk about communication, wireless communication, it lasts a lifetime, or a lifetime is a big word, but it lasts very long on one battery charge, and it communicates optically because it has to detect already the roads. But you can put it on your laptop screen.
Yeah, and program it by the colors that it
colors
changes
shifting
very fast.
Yeah.
So you could do that through your body as well, because if you have a... That's interesting. If you have a light that is bright enough, you could send configurations over that. But it's also hackable then.
It's hackable, and you have a lot of interference, of course, and diffusion and stuff like that. So it will not be easy, but I could imagine that with a relatively strong light and very locally, we can below the skin implantables. If you talk about those,
but why do we
do that?
But why do we want that? Why do we want to have implantables?
Now I want to have this wrist thingy removed, because now it's a bulky thing.
Yeah, you have to. You have a watch.
Yeah.
And you even have them on the same arm.
Yeah, exactly. So that I want to have that gone. I want to have this fitness tracker implanted into my ankle or foot.
Just have it removed. It measures steps, so your feet are quite reasonable at doing steps.
I can imagine so.
Yeah.
And if that lasts for 10 years as well, sure, go ahead. I will
so you might have a small scar, a very small scar.
Yeah.
They put it in.
Through a needle, a big needle. That's probably not so comfortable, but still,
but there doesn't need to be a display in there.
No, no
it
display.
Doesn't need to be doesn't have to have a button.
No.
It doesn't need to be wireless.
It needs to communicate.
Yeah.
It needs to communicate, and in this case, optics might not be so handy, because if I have to turn my foot into a specific position to position a readout device with a big light on it on top of it,
You want
it's
to
not,
do it with your phone.
Yeah, you want to do it with your phone. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So there's a big gap between
That's
what we
true.
can do on medical terms
Yeah.
at this moment and what we do as consumers.
Yeah.
And maybe even in the industry.
True.
Because you're not giving a colleague or an employee a sensor to implement it in his body that is purely there for work.
You could think about how to charge your implantable. If you add one of the current wireless protocols to it that are consuming a lot of energy, you might want to think about, is there a possibility to charge the device while being implanted?
Yeah.
If it
So
if it
wireless
means that
charging.
you have to push your foot into a charging device for half an evening, not that handy. But
No. But if you
for
can
the-
wrap something, maybe but then you have a bit of
a
a
shoe.
ankle, a shoe. We are wearing shoes.
Hey.
So you can have wireless charging
Yeah.
from your shoe. Or put an ankle, it's kind of a bracelet around your ankle that has a battery pack and charges your ankle.
I would go for the
device.
shoe. The soles of the shoe could be a battery pack. They will charge while running, and then they charge your implantable.
So you put something in your shoes, and then you have a battery time of another year.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Year could be good enough. You can do that once a year. So we should look if this is possible. If
Yeah.
someone has information, if this is already doable, let us know, because
Yeah.
I'm very interested.
Definitely.
And I haven't seen it yet. But there's this thing with implantables. We have a colleague actually who made an RFID implant
Yeah,
in
true.
their hand.
Yeah.
He can then
He uses it for
Use it to-
flights.
yeah,
to
to check in into flights.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
under
boarding
the search
pass.
term.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's very interesting. But the problem with that also is it's not widely accepted enough. You cannot use the same tag to log into your work, the train,
True.
the flight, and the hotel. Every time you need a different tag. So you would have a lot
10
of...
tags in your hand or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not handy. That's not a good idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So at this moment I think we can conclude that implantables for consumer usage
Yeah.
is not working yet. And we have to find a way to do that. And maybe we should learn from the medical world where they have knowledge, because you are also implanted in your body, so you want to make sure that
Long
it is-
lifetimes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that the key takeaway here is that the medical world is way ahead in terms of implantables
Yeah.
on that have one specific task, like the pacemaker that you just
Yeah.
described.
It's not
But-
wireless.
Exactly.
It measures your heartbeat
Yeah, and
and it makes sure to
it gives
control the
impulse.
heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah. So it's one specific task only, and then you can ensure life in battery power, and you can ensure that the task will do as promised, basically. But if you go to the consumer purposes, basically, then it becomes more difficult, because we ask more tasks of one device,
Yeah.
and that's more energy consuming, and that poses a problem.
Yeah, because we want to measure steps, stairs,
Temperature,
temperature, heartbeat,
And all-
sleeping,
and send all the data to your mobile phone,
almost in real time.
update it, etc., etc. Yeah, so that's difficult. That's difficult for now.
Okay. 3 to 5 years?
Sure, maybe sooner. Maybe sooner. I think the shoe with the charging shoe for the foot fitness tracker implantable.
But you already have fitness trackers in shoes. So why not do that?
Yeah, why not? Why not do that?
Okay, we solved it. It's easier. You just put it in your shoe. But
Yeah.
the fun thing is, if you have it in your body, you can
Yeah.
measure a lot more
Yeah,
of your body and how you're doing. You can
Yeah.
even sense that the fever's coming up.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool.
Thank you for watching to another IoT Friday. And the next time we might come up with something like privacy, because that's a thing. If you have other inputs for a new episode, let us know.
Yeah, sure. See you next time.